Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. So it's been a little while since I've done a video. I took a break, which was like the third or fourth time I've done that. I think third time I've done that, and probably won't be the last. But for those of you that do remember or do know what happened, it just got a little crazy there again with over some stuff that is behind us. It's done and over with. So anyway, moving forward, I put a post up the other day about North Street, which is a hot topic again because a third round of changes is coming to North Street. And according to Mayor Marchetti's last video he put out, I think they're looking at maybe by summer 2025 implementing new changes, something like that. If I heard that correctly, which I believe I did. So that's taking place, supposedly. They're looking at different options. Now, North Street has continued to be a topic. That last post, I mean, it did like almost 400 comments, a lot of attention on that, and people want to see change. They're not happy with the current layout of North Street. So this time, I hope the public does follow through. Go to a council meeting. Hold a rally. I would hold a rally if people wanted. To respectfully just make a showing that we care, we're involved. It's when, it's when people stop talking about it and stop posting and stop doing things like that, that you have a bigger problem. It's like any bad relationship. When it goes really bad, the arguing and everything stops. And usually one person is just, they're out, they're done. And right now, the community is still heavily weighing in on this. And it's not because they're being negative. It's because they care. They care enough to speak up about it. And, some of the people that are pro the way it is right now, which I can't believe there's many, because even the city seems to be admitting we need to make another round of changes. That is frustrating to a lot of people to see, why can't we do this right the first time? Why can't we do the proper research? Look at other communities that have a similar model or whatever they did that is working for them, something that geographically is comparable to our area. And, we have one little main street. That's it. It's one strip. It's an old New England town, so you don't have a lot of loading docks in the back and things like that. You're going to have an issue with deliveries coming to the front. You got to do it right. I don't know, supposedly North Street, we're finding out now, was just a death trap and never worked for the 200 years it was in existence or whatever. But, and that's why these changes are absolutely necessary. So, I just want to touch real quick, and we'll finish that topic. But, as far as this outlet, it's Pittsfield Tonight. I debated changing the name. I debated getting into just doing music podcasts with entertainers and things like that. I have a hard time keeping this shut. I just do. I do care about what happens. I mean, I'm from here. Like a lot of you, I was born right there on the end of North Street at BMC. My family is generations in this community. I do care what happens to our community. Obviously, why else would I do this? Now, I know I've been told in the past that I was just being negative. Negative. That's all I heard for so long. Stay in my own lane. Keep my mouth shut. I'm being negative. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was told I was being negative. I have a list here of some of the stuff. What was one of the big ones? Wayfair, if you remember that one. Going back a few years, and it was during an election year, I said that Wayfair's business model wasn't going to work for Massachusetts. It was too expensive in the state to do business, that they would not last, and as soon as some of these TIFs and grant monies expired, they would leave. They did. But I was told, no, I was only saying that because I was being negative and just going against anything City Hall says. That's what I was told. Even though that research the research I did was just common knowledge out on the market. It was nothing special that I found. I was told during a district attorney's race, not the last one, the previous one, that the only reason that I backed the candidate that I did at the time, Paul Cacaviello, is because I was being negative and just going against what our mayor and city councilors were doing, which was not the case. And a lot of those exact same people came out and said, oops, we made a mistake, bad choice. So, but anyways, at that time, I was told I was being negative. When the bike lanes went in, okay, I was told I was being negative, that this was how they do it in Europe, this is how they do it in New York City and other places, and this is going to work. This shared streets and spaces grant money that they got was going to be great, and if you build it, they will come. That we had to have these bike lanes and we had to have these parklets and we had to have that layout. And I was told I was just being negative when I spoke up against it and said it was confusing, I didn't understand it, like a lot of people. But I was told I was being negative. And then the second change, I was told I was being negative. I haven't heard I'm being negative yet, but I'm sure maybe today, because we're talking about a third change now. What was the garbage is one that's been discussed, and I have been saying since 2018, we need to move to a tote system. And I was told that I didn't know what I was talking about. Again, I was told I was being negative, that we needed to do pay-as-you-throw and different colored trash bags, and I said that won't work. Trash bags are part of the problem. When you just throw a bag out on the curb, you have squirrels, crows, things like that. The weather, they get ripped open fairly easy, trash ends up everywhere. A tote system is more organized, it's uniformed, it will work. And then some of the city councilors said, well, what about the elderly? They won't be able to push them. I don't believe that. I've lived in communities, cities of millions of people that they figured it out. It wasn't a problem. But we have a massive garbage problem. Now I'm being told we're moving to a tote system. I support that. I support that, especially if it's done correctly. I hope they don't try to implement, you just get a 48-gallon tote. They need to go bigger than that. But I am for a tote system. When I said that Bird e-scooters was a horrible fit for Pittsfield, it was a company that was destined to fail. The history of that company was fascinating, but it was destined to fail, and that was common knowledge on the market. And again, I was told I was being negative. I was going against poor people that needed these scooters for transportation. And that, again, just negative, negative, negative. That's what I was being. And, you know, it was brought up that I didn't know what I was talking about. It was even brought up at a council meeting, that they weren't going anywhere. They'd be on the streets. It's a successful program. And I said, look, they're going to be delisted from the market. Not only were they delisted, they filed bankrupt and they're basically done. The company isn't completely finished, but they're liquidating their assets, and that's it. They filed bankruptcy. So that's why you're not seeing them in Pittsfield right now. Who knows? Maybe they'll find another scooter company to do that with. One of the things, but anyways, it turns out on all those things, was I really being negative? Because it seems like I might have been right on some of those things. And I'm not tooting my own horn here or virtue signaling. The majority of the public agreed with me on that. It just seemed like basic common knowledge. But anyway, so how much of it really was negative? Because those were a lot of the main issues that I talked about. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't being so negative. Maybe I was using a little bit of common sense and doing a little bit of research. Is that possible? I guess. But, again, I was told stay in my own lane. Just stick to your business promos, because I don't want to say the wrong thing and have city councilors or somebody calling for a boycott of businesses. So, I got to watch it, what I say. I got to watch this thing. It tends to open up and get big at times. And I say a lot. I can't help it. I have a big mouth. When I see things that I don't like, it's hard to not say something. And I get so many messages from so many of you to to keep doing this. I had to take a break. The stress of the last one got to me. That is all squashed and behind us. There'll be no more of that going forward. Anybody who used to be involved in City Hall, city government, if you're not an elected official, I am not going to mention you. I'm not going to insinuate to you. I'm not any of that. Done with all that. I gave my word to somebody that feud was over. It is over. But it doesn't mean we can't talk about issues here. And I never thought I was being disrespectful. I know some of the elected officials like to compare me to another website, which is a joke. To me, it's a joke. I was told by one of our current elected officials that the only reason you guys follow me is because you like to root for an underdog and you feel sorry for me. That same person told me that my videos were unwatchable because I had a bad speaking voice and I just repeated myself over and over and made no sense. And that I should have just stayed in my lane and stuck to doing business promos and things like that and left the politics to the politicians, which I found incredibly insulting. One of the individuals at the Berkshire Innovation Center sent me a friend request one day to my personal page. I accepted it, and then next thing I know, he goes on some rant on there saying that I have somewhat of a cult following and everything that I spew out of my mouth is garbage and trash and hurts the city. And that one really shocked me because I don't know this person from anything. That one was really shocking. So, as far as me saying I'm not doing the politics anymore, I'm not. I'm not going to go inviting politicians on the show. If they want to come on and be interviewed or be part of this platform, they can reach out to me. If they don't, they don't. I'll leave it at that. I think that this audience is a very respectful audience when it comes to commenting and posting. I don't think anyone's being negative. I think, in fact, that everyone wants to see Pittsfield succeed. Again, that's why we're talking about it. When everyone stops talking about it, you've got a bigger problem. People will have thrown in the towel and given up. So that's it. I am going to, as far as the business promos and things that I had going, if a few of you remember, I'm sure, or many of you, I had a promo going with Closetivity where they were doing a 25% discount, that they were going to select a person for that, and many people shared that post. I'm going to finish that. That had nothing to do with Jim and Closetivity. Again, that was me having to shut this down for a little bit and take a break to regroup from all that. It was stressful for me. And like I said, it wasn't the first time and it's not going to be the last, I'm sure. I hope it is, but I'm not going to count on that. It's a tricky thing when you're mentioning city government, even though I don't have any problem with anyone in city government personally. I never took anything personal with it until they made it personal. Of course, there's people are going to say criticism towards maybe some of the things I say. I don't know. This is an op-ed. I never said I was the news. This is my opinion, and it seems to align with almost 10,000 of you just on Facebook. We have one of the largest followings in the city. You can start a group page that has 20, 30, 40,000 people. That's a lot different. Group pages don't even function the same way. It's about engagement rate. It's about people. And we have It's Pittsfield Tonight has one of the highest engagement rates for an op-ed post in Berkshire County, and that's a fact. But anyway, I think most of you have kept it very respectful, and let's continue to do that. You can have good debate as long as you're not trashing people. To the people who think opposite of the way I think or a lot of other people think, you're still free to comment here, but you don't have to correct people all the time. Leave your own comment. Why do you have to respond to people that you're going to try to educate them and tell them they don't know what they're talking about? They're allowed to have their opinion. Leave your comment, leave your input, and let it go at that. That's the best way to handle it. I looked at the comments on that last one, and out of almost 400 of them, every single one of them, even the ones that were pro-bike lane, were admitting that there needs to be change, that it's the way it is. And for one, how do you have bike lanes without PSAs, educating people of the use for them? How do you do it without enforcing the rules and laws? If you can't ride your bicycle on the sidewalk, you should get one warning. And then if you get caught doing it again, it's a ticket. And you know what'll happen? People will stop doing it. You push your bike down the sidewalk if you have to be on the sidewalk with it. You don't ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. Many cities ticket for that, and it's a good ticket. It's a $100 ticket because it can hurt people. So you give people a warning, you educate them on why they have to use the bike lanes and use them correctly. When I see a bicycle in the bike lane, 90% of the time it's someone going the wrong direction. I see people in mobility chairs in the bike lanes going the wrong direction. And that is frustrating and sad. There's a reason they feel safer there and easier to use than on the sidewalks. We need to make sure that, it's really an inviting downtown for people that need to use it. As far as the panhandling, you can put the signs up discouraging that and encouraging people to give to our organizations. I was told by the mayor that is coming. I hope it is. It needs to be done. I deliver my day job. I deliver all over Berkshire County. And Pittsfield's one of the only places I see panhandlers. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm in Adams, North Adams, all day, back and forth to there. Every day I'm in those towns. I never see panhandlers there, ever. When I see people in Adams with their bicycles on the sidewalk, they're pushing them. And that trail, the Ashawiltacook Trail, is used heavily. So anyway, that's that. This is kind of like a getting the ball rolling again video. There's going to be a lot to talk about. I don't think we've ever been negative on here. I never looked at what I was doing as negative. I was honored to be able to host the mayoral debates that I did. I was excited about that. I know some people made fun of me for those or whatever, but I thought it was cool that I had the opportunity to do that. And I thought of it as almost like a civic duty or civic thing to do for the community. I didn't do that for myself. That was for all of you. The more information out there, the better. Berkshire's was nice enough to cover it and give a little bit of press on that, which was nice because a lot of time and money went into that. I was very thankful to the candidates for allowing me their time to do that. And but I think all those I'm going to put behind me. All that stuff was very expensive, and the enthusiasm just wasn't there. It's better to talk about the issues, get people engaged. Hey, if we do some rallies, we do some standouts, we do some trash pickups again, things like that. I think that's where this platform shined. A lot of the work we did in the community, the mural at the Madison, that project was spearheaded through here. A lot of the situations with people in homelessness, what happened with Springside Park, that was spearheaded through here. Getting the restaurants back open when Pittsfield was the only place who had that restaurants shut down during the pandemic, that was spearheaded through here. And the restaurant owners showed up at City Hall. That was great. There was a lot of, I thought, positive things that have come through It's Pittsfield Tonight. And again, I think everyone's been very respectful. No national politics are allowed on this platform. They never have been. They never will be. There's no need for it. There's plenty of other places you can go and save the world and say how you would do things differently. But here it's about what we know, and it's the community we live in, and the community we work in and shop in and everything else. And that's what It's Pittsfield Tonight hopefully will continue to be. It's hard for me to step away from this. I've invested a decade of my life into it and a lot of time and money, and I do care. And every time I went to leave and I get the messages saying when people say don't let them get to you, it gets to you after a while. It's a lot to take on, but I more than appreciate the support. I'm going to try to watch this thing and not say as much as I have in the past. I did give my word to some people on a feud that I had going in the past. That's behind us. But look, there's nothing wrong with talking about issues and try to come to a resolution that makes everyone happy. And North Street is one of the big ones. Potholes is one of the big ones. It scared me this weekend seeing so many motorcycles out and thinking, oh man, how do they travel down like Barker Road safely and things like that? There's some bad streets that I would not want to be on a motorcycle. Anyway, there's all those things to talk about, and there's positive things that we can do. We can continue with community projects, business promos, rallies and standouts and things like that brings community together, and that will continue to happen. Some of the interviews for the podcast idea I had, I canceled all of them because when I shut down, I was kind of embarrassed about all that, and it went a way I didn't want it to go. One of the city councilors, I left that post up. She said it was a joke. She only called for the boycott or something as a joke. I don't know. Maybe it was, whatever. I don't care. That's behind us too. Who cares? That was then, this is now. So again, we'll keep it positive. Thank you to all of you that have stuck with the platform, and I will keep this going as best I can. I'm going to have to do some other fundraisers so we can cover a lot of the nonprofits and things like that to keep those going. But there's the Harry Bateman Memorial Fishing Derby coming up. That one I wouldn't miss for anything. There's a lot of stuff coming up. And to the politicians who want to come on It's Pittsfield Tonight, be more than happy to have you. But I think it's, rather than me inviting people, I'm not going to do that anymore. If they want to come on, they can reach out to me, and I'd love to have them. And we can talk about issues that way. So there'll be a lot to talk about, but I got to get ready for work. I got a big day. It's Monday. So yeah, nice weather hopefully is finally here. But let's keep this moving forward. And again, to the business promos and the things that I left off, I will continue with. So there'll be more stuff coming up with Pittsfield Rye Bakery, Portavia and Dalton, and Closetivity, Jim Bronson and Closetivity, and his another company that he's a co-owner of that's kind of related to that, and that'll be an interview I have coming up on that soon anyway. But to Closetivity, Jim Bronson and Closetivity, to the Robbins family and Pittsfield Rye Bakery, and Jay and Donna Bolin at Portavia, they've been great supporters of mine, and I will be finishing up with some of those. The commercials we did with Jay, I love doing those. Those were a lot of fun to do, and we're going to continue with some stuff as soon as we get things moving again. And everything that got dropped, that was on me. It was on none of them. It was just I had to step away for a couple months and regroup. So, all right, now maybe I am repeating myself, but that is it for now. Everyone, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be kind to each other, express your opinion like an adult. No sense in going after each other. And if someone does that to you, just let it go. Ignore them. It ain't worth it. Let it go. But your opinion is welcome here as long as it's done respectfully. So comment away if you want. I encourage it. And thank you to everyone who commented on that North Street post. Keep it going. So, all right, for the last time, that is it for now. And I'll catch you all in the next day or two.